Female CEOs run 10.4% of Fortune 500 companies. Since there is a meagre representation of females in the role of CEO at Fortune 500 companies, not to mention the underrepresentation of women in boardrooms globally, it can be challenging for a female executive, founder, or entrepreneur to consider the best way to present. But do not despair. Let's stay positive. It can only improve, hopefully. Today, we will look at the most up-to-date research behind the benefits of power dressing for female executives. I'm Dr. Sarah Lobigaiga de Rodriguez, the communication consultant you're seeking to gain influence. I work with clients globally to build their ability in the heavily researched fields of tactical charisma, leadership communication, and social intelligence. So if that sounds like something you're hungry to learn about, subscribe to this channel. It's your best playground for elite communication. Now, although today's episode is designed for female executives, I will clarify Cadenza is not a pink business. Most of our clients are in fact male executives. Further, as a disclaimer, I'm not a fashion stylist, but I have an academic fascination with the science behind reputation and influence at work, so I've opted to share some tips and insights with you on today's topic. Today, since we're looking at the latest research on the benefits of power dressing for female executives in the professional sphere, I'll cover 3 principles for curating attire, especially considering the boardroom: consistency, formality, and style. First, consider that your leadership reputation, executive presence, and influence are the sum of symbols and signals you emit through your communication. For this reason, it is vital to consider attire. We can agree that bias, judgment, and impressions form at face value. Your appearance, words, and actions at work are constantly inflecting judgments about your competence, intelligence, and personality. It's easy to resist this notion and think it unfair, but research indicates a strong correlation between how you look, sound, and act, and what humans around you perceive. In a leadership position, it's advisable to proactively consider how you strategically manage visual cues like fashion and style. Consider Principle 1, consistency. CEOs who dress in consistent attire are perceived as more competent. In a 2024 study, Min Chung Kim and Jacob Lee compared CEOs using fashion consistency with a streamlined bespoke look with those using variable fashion styles. They found that those ascribing consistent styles to their wardrobe were valued as most competent and seen as more engaged in their work, regardless of their gender. Principle number 2 is dress up. Elevated attire among CEOs translates to more positive perks for leaders, with clothing cues potentially having more power than the impressions your face creates. A study published in 2020 in the journal Nature and Human Behavior indicated how impressions of economic status deeply connect to inferences of competence. Participants rated frontal headshots of faces with different upper body clothing, and the same faces were perceived as more competent with an elevated outfit rather than informal clothing or dress that appeared inexpensive. The idea that what you wear translates to impressions of your intelligence, competence, and value seems preposterous. Still, fashion psychology manipulates notions of equity and fairness more than we may realize. Our third principle to consider is that styling matters. Styling also profoundly influences the degree to which you showcase leadership traits. Since there is a meagre representation of females in the boardrooms, of course it's challenging and confusing to consider the best way to present. If you're a female executive feeling confused, don't worry, because the fact is we all are. So I've checked the research for you on this. With the dominance of males in executive positions, the mainstream notion, the stereotype notion of a leader being male in appearance and form is like a semantic magnet. This effect is described as think manager, think male, and was coined early by Shine in 1973. The gender stereotype is still far from dying out, so it begs to question, if most of society envisions a male with notions of executives and CEOs, are females better positioned to emulate a masculine style or stick with a traditionally feminine look? How should you style yourself with all the gender stereotypes around leadership? Here are a few significant scientific findings to note. In several studies, people with a more masculine appearance were more likely to be perceived as possessing increased leadership traits, regardless of their gender. Formal and well-groomed candidates also have a greater chance of being hired. Outfits with masculinized inflections also increase the chance of getting hired to be a manager, regardless of your gender. So as a female, you might like to consider tailoring and a high-quality suit. The color of your suit might matter, ladies. Female speakers who present with a lower speaking pitch and slower rate will increase charisma perceptions if they wear a red suit. However, take care. If you're vocally expressive with a higher speaking pitch, a red power suit will plummet your charisma rating, and you'd be better in a conservative, dark-toned suit. Are you concerned that your gender and appearance are impacting your career progress? Keep tuning in. Since 2019, the workwear wardrobe for many corporate workers has been upended. Do we still judge attire the same way in 2024 after all we've been through? Complex judgments based on appearances are still active, even in the face of newer trends of hybrid work, quiet luxury, and minimalism. If you're wondering about the state of workwear and what the research is around the best clothing to wear at work to increase your executive presence and credibility, you should visit the Cadenza website and pick up a copy of our heavily researched resource, the Workwear White Paper, which covers the most current research on corporate attire so that you can make better choices about the degree of formality you should go for. So if you're wondering if Crocs and jeans will plummet your authority, or you're in split minds about whether to wear business formal or business casual, this guide will make things clear so that you can make the best decisions about how you communicate the best impressions. Head to our website to pick up your copy. We've added the link to the Workwear White Paper in the description box below. Are you a female leader, entrepreneur, founder, or CEO? I'd love to hear how your situation is, so make sure you reach out via the comments if you have any questions. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and also head to our main platform at cadenza.co to stay up to date with all the resources for leadership and career communication coming. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this one, do me a favor and click like. That helps us out immensely on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe as well. See you soon, and ciao for now.